Most continuous cropping systems are currently used because of favorable economy. The most common example where most producers in a large geographical area use the same crop rotation is the corn-soybean rotation in the Midwest United States. Assalamualaikum and hello to my viewer. With me, Muhammad Lutfi bin Ismail, we will go in depth and understand more about crop rotation and what it is all about. By the end of this video, you will know what is crop rotation and why it is so important in agricultural practices. Also, you will know what type of crop that is suitable and can you grow if you have an idea to planting at your home. Different type of crop give different characteristics that must be put in order to make sure high rate in yield can be achieved and failure can be avoided. In this video, I will describe the effect of crop rotation to the soil if we practice crop rotation in our field or garden. Some know how to conduct this practice but doesn't know what are the benefit or harm behind this. Some know the effect but didn't know the strategy to make it happen. Proper understanding can give positive result in all of our doing. Knowledge is super important if we want to improve ourselves. So, without wasting our time, let's begin. Crop rotation, the successive cultivation of different crops in a specific order on the same field, in contrast to a one-crop system or to haphazard crop succession. So, what is crop rotation? Crop rotation is a practice of growing different types of crops in the same area over the sequence of seasons. For example, at the moment I grow potato as a crop. After potato is fully harvested, I continue growing another type of crop such as peas or cabbage. When creating a rotation plan, we can take a look into this simple strategy. I will divide the crop groups into 4. The first one is a legume group. Beans and peas are said to be nitrogen fixing because they pull nitrogen from the air and store it in their roots. So, they follow the roots and ensure there will be lots of nitrogen available for the next leaf rotation. The second one is leaf group. The leaf group contains all the big nitrogen dependent crops like lettuce, greens, herbs, spinach and the brassicas, which is cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprout, and kale. They need lots of nitrogen to grow strong leaf and stem. But nitrogen is the hardest nutrient to keep in the soil. That's why they must follow the nitrogen-fixing legumes in this rotation. The next group is fruit groups, which include tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, eggplants, and squash. These plants need phosphorus to set blossom and develop fruit but shouldn't get lots of nitrogen or they will make olives and fruits. Technically, corn is a fruiting crop but we can grow it as an exception in the leaf group because it does need lots of nitrogen. Lastly, the root groups. For instance, onions, garlic, turnips, carrots, beets, and radishes are all root crops that need potassium but don't need much nitrogen. So, the roots follow the fruits since there is little nitrogen left at this point in the rotation. Potatoes are root crops too, but we can plant them with the legumes. That is because they are members of the nightshade family and suffer from the same pest as tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. So, we don't want them to follow the fruits. They seem to suffer a lot more pest damage when they do. Rotation are primarily used to soil increase crop productivity and enhance soil health in several ways. This is what crop rotation can do to the soil. To begin, crop rotation can reduce wind and water erosion of soil. Soil erosion rates depended mostly on rainfall, amount and intensity during periods when soil was unprotected by plant cover. So, when the soil is being covered by plant and the root is ready to absorb water soil, the soil will hold less water. Perennial grasses completely prevented water erosion. Water erosion rates were highest under potatoes, less under spring barley and winter rye, and zero under perennial grasses. Besides, crop rotation can maintain or increase organic matter. The grass and legume that we planted will develop extensive roots system that will naturally die each year. Indirectly, will adding new organic matter to the soil. The die root will stimulate high biological activities in the soil and attract microorganisms for decomposition process. As they break down the organic matter, any excess nutrient like nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur are released into the soil in form that can be used by the next plant. Furthermore, crop rotation also can increase nitrogen supply with legumes. We must understand that legumes grow in a symbiotic relationship with soil-dwelling bacteria. The bacteria called rhizobacteria will stick on the roots and cooperate with the plant. Rhizobacteria will take gaseous nitrogen from the air in the soil and feed this nitrogen to the legumes through the roots. In exchange, the plant will provide carbohydrate to the bacteria. This process can be called nitrogen fixation, which will increase the nitrogen in soil. Last but not least, crop rotation plays a role for reducing weed, insect, and disease pest pressure. Some pathogen can live in the soil for a long year. By planting the same crop over the year will give a favorable condition to the existing pest and disease. The crop rotation eventually will reduce pest and disease on the crop. It is important to not plant the same crop family because they share the same pest and disease problem and can limit the effectiveness of crop rotation. Basically, if we change crop over the season, the pests and disease that exist with the previous crop will not have a food source and will give up living and die. There is no rose without thorn. There is rarely a good thing that does not have some negative or unpleasant aspect. Same goes to crop rotation. Crop rotation also have its drawbacks, although there are very few compared to its benefit. Here, I will point out few negative sides of crop rotation. In crop rotation, investing in a season involve the input of much money to buy different seedling or different type of crops to be planted. The success, however, for each crop type is not guaranteed and will end up incurring loss of harvest. Pests and disease from other crops can infect and separate two other crops. The risk of certain yield not be successful is also high, which when that was the only crop type grown, meaning by that, no yield for current planting seasons and we need to wait for the next season. For crop rotation to work, one has to plant different crops every time. Nonetheless, it does not allow a farmer to specialize on single type of crop. The farmer is not able to produce a single crop on a large scale over a long period of time because of the damage it will do to the soil. Crop rotation is necessary to improve yields. Crop diversification also requires investment in different planting techniques for each unique crop that costs time and money because each crop needs different type of attention. So now we are at the end of this video. To make a long story short, crop rotation is changing the crop after one to another every season, which we not plant the same crop every time. Crop rotation gives a valuable benefit to enhance the fertility of soil and reduce the pest and disease problem among crops. Make sure to know your crops before planting. Healthy crop begin with dedicated farmers. If the crop grows in a full of care, the result will be superior and we will satisfy with our work. To end this video, I would like to say please stay at home and stay safe wherever you are. Thank you very much for staying with me until the end of this video. Until we meet again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.